Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rahul and you are watching Data Sapiens. This is second video of this series. If you haven't watched first video, then I will suggest you to watch that video where I have talked about basics of programming. I will give its link in description and in pin comments. Trust me, you don't want to miss the basics. Now let's get back to this video. In this video, I will talk about some basic syntax. Things like how to display something, how to take inputs, and also we'll see how to use some of the arithmetic operations on our data. I'm also going to talk to you about one of the most important thing, that is variables. Let's start with a very simple program. In this program, we are using print. Print is used to display anything you want. Here I have written hello world in double quotes. You can write anything you want here. Just don't forget to enclose it in double quotes so that it will be converted into a string and we will not get any error while executing our code. Now we know how to display certain things through our program in our output. Let's go ahead and see how are we going to take the inputs. There's a simple method for that, that is input. We need to write input and then in this parenthesis we can write any message that we want, like enter a number, enter your name, enter your age, anything. After taking this input, we need to store that input somewhere. So we are going to store that input inside a variable and that we are going to name that variable A. Now after executing this cell, I will get something like this. Enter a number and then my program will ask me to enter a number. Then I will enter a number and that number will be stored inside our variable. If I want to access that number, I can simply print that number here and we will get 5. Now we are going to use print and input a lot in this series. Print will help us display any output of our program and input will help us to get different types of inputs to use in our program. Now that we are taking inputs, we need to store those inputs somewhere, right? So we are going to store those inputs inside variables. But before that, what are the variables? Let's assume that we have a memory and inside our memory, we have these boxes. Now our actual memory will not look anything like that, but for the sake of simplicity, we will assume that our memory is looking something like this and we have lots of boxes. If I want to store a number, then I will choose a box and I will store that number in a box. I will give that box a name so that if I want to access this number anytime, then I will be able to access this number with the help of that name. And that is nothing but a variable name. I can use my number to access 5 anywhere. Another question that you might ask is, can I name my variable anything? Well, the answer is no, because we need to follow certain rules in order to name our variables. The rules such as name of a variable cannot start with number or any symbol except underscore. Name of a variable cannot contain empty spaces. Instead, underscore is used. Now, this will happen to us many times that we want to write a variable name which has two words. Just like I took in previous example that my number. Now, my and number, these two are different words. But we need to connect those words by using underscore. We cannot use empty spaces in between these two words because it's not allowed. We can use underscore to connect two words or we can directly connect these two words. Name of a variable can contain numbers, but it cannot contain any symbol except underscore. And at last we have variable names are case sensitive. Now as you can see here, this age and this final age, these three are variable names and these three are different variables because variable names are case sensitive. I have given some examples here which will help you to know how you can actually name your variables. Now we can start writing some programs for performing arithmetic operations on our data. We will start with addition of two numbers. Here I have a variable A in which 10 is stored, a variable B in which 20 is stored, and if I want to add these two numbers, I can add these two numbers and I can store the result inside another variable C. Now, if I want to see the results, I can easily do that by printing this value inside C, and it will give me output. We have seen some programs here. Now we are going to do all these programs in our Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is a place where we are going to write every program in this series. If you don't have Jupyter Notebook, don't worry. I will put the links of some videos which will help you download Jupyter Notebook and Python in your system. This is how a Jupyter Notebook will look like after opening. If you want to create new notebook, we can do that by clicking on new, and then after that we can click on Python 3 and it will create new notebook for us. We can write our first program, that is print hello world here. If you want to run this program, we can simply do that by clicking on run and it will run this program. We will write another program that we saw earlier. We will take input and store it in a variable. Let's do that by doing this. A is equal to input, and then we will say enter a number. Now, after running this cell, I will get something like this. I will get this instruction and my program will ask me to enter a number. Let's enter something like 45. Now that 45 value is stored inside my variable A. If I want to see that value, I can easily do that by printing the value inside A, and I will get something like this. Let's go ahead and write a somewhat big program to add two numbers. Let's say I have my first number A is equal to 30, and then I have my second number which is stored inside B, that is equal to 45. If I want to add these two numbers, as we saw previously, I will create another variable and I will add these two numbers there. I have these two numbers added and the result will be stored in C. If I want to see the result, I can easily do that by printing C. And after running this, I will get something like 75. We will write another code to see how subtraction will work. And then you can write your own codes for division and multiplication. So here we have A is equal to 20 and B is equal to 15. We want to subtract B from A. What we can do is we can create another variable and we can do something like this, A minus B, and that result will be stored in C. I can print C, and this will give me the output of 5. Now you pretty much know how this Jupyter Notebook actually works, and you can write your own code to perform arithmetic operations like modulus and power also. That is it for this video, guys. If you like this video and you want to learn more about Python, you can subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon. You can share this video with your friends to help them learn Python, and I will see you in the next one.